It was 1351 when a strange map surfaced, weathered, cryptic, and all wrong. Drawn in a Templar hand, it charted lands west of the known world, beyond the Pillars of Hercules, beyond logic, beyond history. It showed islands no one had discovered, shorelines that wouldn't be found for another century, and a single circular landmass, massive, symmetrical, now vanished beneath the waves. The name scrawled at its edge wasn't Atlantis, but the implications couldn't be ignored. Had the Templars mapped a world that shouldn't have existed unless they had seen it? Take a breath. Let the idea settle. Because tonight we're not just chasing a legend. We're chasing those who may have believed it, acted on it, and perhaps vanished because of it. You've heard of the Knights Templar, warrior monks, holy bankers, guardians of secrets, burned at the stake, cursed into history. But buried beneath the dramatic arrests and whispered treasure legends lies something quieter and stranger. A trail of maritime symbols, a missing fleet, a series of coincidental discoveries that, taken together, begin to whisper of a mission won not to Jerusalem, but across the sea, west, into the mists, toward a land erased. What if the Templars didn't just vanish into persecution? What if some of them sailed deliberately, purposefully, in search of a mythical island said to be the cradle of civilization and the warning of its end? What if Atlantis wasn't just a parable, but a destination? Tonight we follow the breadcrumbs, through ruined castles, sealed archives, obscure trial testimonies, and maps drawn in hands that should not have known what they knew. We don't promise answers, but we promise the real clues are stranger than any fiction, and the truth, or what's left of it, is waiting just beneath the surface. Before we venture further into the shadows, take a moment to subscribe so you never miss a secret that history has tried to forget. You begin in the port of La Rochelle, once a bustling hub of Templar maritime power. The year is 1307. The Atlantic wind carries salt and rumors. Wooden hulls bob in the shallows, tethered and ready. Sailcloth flaps like breathless flags, and harborside clerks tally cargo under the gaze of knights cloaked in white and red. It's the eve of their downfall, but no one knows it yet. Or perhaps someone does. Within days, King Philip IV of France will unleash one of the most coordinated takedowns in medieval history. Templar holdings will be seized, brothers, imprisoned, tortured, forced to confess to sins both real and invented. But there's one part of the operation that doesn't go to plan: the ships. A sizable portion of the Templar fleet, by some counts nearly 20 vessels, simply vanish. Vanished, not sunk, not captured, not destroyed, just gone. As if someone had known what was coming, as if someone had planned an escape or perhaps a final voyage. The official records fall silent here. No manifest survives. No logbook made it to the Inquisitor's hands. But there are stories, always stories. Sailors in Portuguese taverns who spoke of white-cloaked knights boarding ships in the dead of night. Merchants in northern Africa who saw strange Western vessels arrive unannounced, then vanish again. And in Madeira, legends persist of a people who came with crosses, spoke no local tongue, and built with uncanny precision. The curious part is that La Rochelle, unlike most European ports at the time, faced west, not toward the Holy Land, not toward Rome, but toward the edge of the known world. If you believed a mythical island lay beyond the Atlantic, this would be your launch point. Some historians chalk the missing fleet up to hasty escape. Others point to Genoa or even Scotland as possible destinations. But those answers are oddly convenient. None explain the reports of ships sighted further out beyond the Azores. None explain the scattered carvings and structures in places that officially had not yet been reached. What complicates matters further is a fragment of correspondence still debated among scholars that surfaced in the early 1900s. Written in coded Latin and attributed to a Templar commander named Jacques de Montbard, it speaks cryptically of the last journey. Not east, but beneath the setting star to where the old kings drowned. Some argue it's metaphor, others suggest it's poetic mourning, but a handful take it literally. Drowned kings, a setting star, a final voyage west. And here the whispers begin to converge with another older mystery, the legend of Atlantis. Plato's account placed the lost civilization beyond the Pillars of Hercules in the Atlantic Ocean, destroyed in a single day and night. What if the Templars believed it wasn't just myth, but memory, a memory passed down in esoteric teachings? One they sought to reclaim, or perhaps warn against repeating. The idea isn't as far-fetched as it seems. The Templars were deeply tied to sacred geometry, mythic symbology, and ancient texts, including some that likely filtered through Islamic scholars. And if they encountered references to a drowned civilization, a civilization advanced radiant and punished, they might have seen in it both a warning and a key. La Rochelle becomes more than a port. It becomes a fulcrum, a crossroads between survival and secrecy. And the vanished fleet isn't just missing it, becomes an echo, a question mark in naval history that has never been satisfactorily answered. Of course, skepticism is healthy. Sailors vanish all the time, especially in the chaotic years after a purge. The Atlantic is vast and unforgiving. Wooden ships rot, sink, are forgotten. But there is no record of a storm, no wrecks recovered, no remains at all. Just a silence. And sometimes silence is more suspicious than noise. If they did sail west, where did they go? What did they hope to find? And could that voyage have been part of a plan far older than the church, the throne, or even Jerusalem itself? As night falls over La Rochelle in 1307, you imagine one of those ships breaking from the harbor lantern, extinguished hull, creaking against the swell. A knight stands at the stern hood, drawn low, staring not at the shore behind, but at the black horizon ahead.